If you've made it here, it's because you're saying yes to something. You might not even know what it is fully yet, but I appreciate you and I appreciate you joining Simply Sacred with Aurora Lee. The Simply Sacred with Aurora Lee school community is the container. It's the space that we're sharing together for us to get to know one another, see where you're at with your healing journey, see where you might want to go. Heal It International is how it has the Heal It program, and that's run by facilitators. That gives you the opportunity to have DEI in-depth training that you can be so proud of, that you can say, I did Heal It training, I am certified. And that's when people will know you're serious about being a safe space and creating that change for others. Now, if you look at the healing community, I just want to show you. So I'm going to share my screen here because I just want to show you how inclusive and loving and caring it is. So you come in and you get welcomed. You get welcomed by people who are in here. You get welcomed, but you can immediately go to the classroom. This is where you have the Healed Human, the free course. I really recommend this. Is a great foundation for all other courses. Everything comes back to what you find in here. And I'll give you a hint. It's how to be attuned. It's how to know if you are attuned and in this space of homeostasis. And in all my studies, I did a lot around understanding what is it that made us unwell in our society? What did civilizations do well that allowed them to be healthy and healed? And so we are able to have a healed human. We are able to have homeostasis, our set way of being in balance. We are the healers, actually. When we're doing any healing work, it's not somebody else doing the healing. The healing happens because we have the environment and the conditions we need for healing. So all my intention is to create that energy in this space with and for you. Now, this is a handbook you can have if you choose to work alongside with you with the free course. You just click it and go, and you're able to access that handbook right away. And then when you come into this space, the journey, a roadmap for inner transformation, it's really going to be crucial for you for any other length of the journey as well. It is you understanding you. Metacognitive awareness and abilities and aptitudes is what makes doing DEI training so crucial, or any social equity training, any kind of qualitative work towards humanity and servicing humanity. We need that metacognitive awareness to say, hey, how did I learn that? Who am I? What are my thought processes? Where did that social conditioning come from? This is my work. So I've championed in this kind of work for a really long time in the college level, at the health authority level. I support people to unlearn and relearn. My master's of education is also in transformational pedagogy, transformational unlearning and relearning. And I also focus primarily on a project for trauma-informed safe spaces for group learning environments. And it really is the love and the passion of my life is supporting exactly this process that I've built out here. So when you come down here, you can access this classroom, Restoring Your Inner Child. How beautiful. What a great opportunity to just have a container with other amazing leaders who are willing to take off their mask and dive deep. You know, when I do work with people, whether it's indigenization work, cultural safety work, anti-racism work, whatever it might be, especially lateral kindness, you know, you look at the power dynamics that make up lateral violence and what lateral violence is. If you don't know, you better come in. But these aspects of power come up, power boundaries, you know, the sacred story that the inner child holds. And these are uncomfortable. And that's why many people don't want to do the work authentically in a workplace environment when they're asked to go and do, you know, their DEI training. because it starts to bring up sorrows. It starts to bring up pain. And this is that place to unlock and reimagine a new story, but also hold space for what has been. It's not about denying a story, it never is. I've done this deep work myself as well. I have lived experience in many, many ways. And so through my exploration of trauma healing, I have done it for myself and tested many, many modalities, cultural perspectives on healing, and as well as educational through the Western lens. And so I kind of bring them all together in a way that's juicy and what the world's kind of been ready for and wanting. And that's why I'm so excited about this. So some of these are off the side kind of workshops you can do that I often find also comes up. These conversations naturally always come up. And that's around, protecting yourself from compassion, fatigue, burnout, and vicarious trauma. So this is a really great supporting the supporters container, and you can be alongside other folks. And that's the beauty of the school community. And then the trauma informed approaches. So you're going to take directly from the Healed Human course and you're going to say, how do I apply that in my work, in my leadership work, and leading a team, in my service work? You're going to be able to tangibly apply these principles in new ways. And what are some easy ways where we can always consider trauma informed? No matter who you are, if you're doing a speech, sometimes it's subtle shifts in language, or when you can consider, well, maybe it's not as easy as you're saying it is for someone who is very, who they have a lot of equity barriers, right? And so it's a way of being more inclusive in how you show up in the world. And when you understand trauma, then you can make new linkages. So then you come to Heal It Leadership Training, and this is your in-depth corporatized training that really allows for you to expand and broaden in your service provision. So that's all I want to show for now in this course, because, I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to just say, coming into this place has been a shift, because if I could, I would just be doing it all in healthcare and at the college level that I have been, and the community service provision that I have been. I've spent so much time. I've spent time with rural First Nations families who will never get their children again. But the one opportunity I have is to help them have love and connection with their children and the life skills that those children are needing. And I've worked deeply with deep trauma and lived realities. I've also worked as a stopping the violence counselor for women. I've worked in mental health and addictions counseling for youth. These elements of lived realities that people are walking with, I know so many, they see it. They see the challenges of the systems and the policies and the way that it's not working. So we need to show up and do things new. And when I work with nonprofits, and I've worked with corporations, and I've worked with huge programs that are nationwide and international, and I've worked in the health authority, and I've worked to indigenize campuses, multiple campuses, and talk about truth and reconciliation in a deep way in Canada. The barrier that's showing up consistently is how scary it is to lean in and take off the mask, to say, I don't know. I'm a leader and I'm supposed to know, but I don't know. We're walking in new territory. We're walking in a new way together, and I'm scared. And I don't want to show that I don't know because of the divisiveness or the critical judgment. And I just can't have that, or I can't lose my job. So I'm not willing to say that. And those frictions and those cognitive dissonances, they built up and up and up. And like people are ready to pop and they just want change. Just tell me how to apply that change. They know it's not working. And so, in a position of power that you have, when you heal on a deep level and you can see yourself in a new way, and you have confidence when you say, no, this policy right here, that's outdated. This is why. That is a courage that we all need, because the ability for you to make changes is going to be incredibly crucial for our future humanity. We need to get us back on course. We need leaders to be so inspired for change that we don't have to wonder if it's our children or our grandchildren or grandchildren's grandchildren, or when it's going to finally happen, where we see those rates of statistics coming down. Because love, connection, and belonging, it's not just something nice and cool to have. It's something we have to deeply embed in the way we do our social existence for us to come back to that healed human state. There's no way out other than to in. I do know that I'm equipped to help serve in this way. I've dedicated my whole life to this. And when social change leaders come and be part of that, I will probably cry. I will probably cry with so much joy and happiness, because it's going to take all of us to get us back on track so that all of our children can live in a society that's well. And you deserve that. And I deserve that. And our next of kin certainly deserve that. Thank you.